Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Cast 5 Reviews where we review. Actually, this particular episode, we are reviewing Moon Knight. Moon Knight, guys. Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. This man just had Black Power hand up in the air. Yes, brother. I'm with you.
Moon Knight.
I'm with you. Moon Knight. Egyptian brothers, even though from Africa. Like, anyway,
exactly. You know it, Rohan. But yes, Moon Knight, episode 4. Oh my god. I can't believe it. I cannot believe that I predicted this, but doesn't matter.
This guy, man.
I am joined today by our resident MCU huge fanatic, Mr. Daniel Ford, aka Young Lad in the Corner. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Doesn't matter. You were wrong. You were wrong. You're wrong.
I was not wrong.
You don't get to say anything. Rohan, what's going on, bro? What's good?
I'm just so cheesed that this guy's prediction was so bang on the money, but at the end, maybe not so much. But oh man, when it happened, I was like, this guy Fayez, how did he do it?
Yo, it has to be more, right? It has to be more. It has to be more than just the institution. Like if that's the case, oh my god, this is gonna be ranked lower than Hawkeye. But before we start, I want to let any of our new audience member and podcast listeners know that we are Cast 5. We are a group of friends that love to discuss, play, review video games, animes, movies, TV shows, you name it, or news in general that matters to us. And hopefully it resonates with you as well, because this video will not exist because of that. So if you like what we do, please make sure you hit that comment. Comment down below, hit that like and subscribe button to help with the YouTube algorithm. And generally speaking, just comment down below. Let us know what you like about our predictions. If I just say I was right, that's it. That's all I want to see downstairs. Fayez was right. That's it. That's it. Right?
God damn it!
But we also stream on
the satisfaction.
Don't be jelly, man. You jelly belly. We also stream on twitch.tv/cast_5, and we're currently streaming parts of Endwalker, which is the reason why I kept saying Endwalker. Endwalker, Demon Souls, and Elden Ring. Rohan is going to be doing Tiny Tina's Wonderland sometime, so don't quote me on that.
Stay tuned for that, guys.
Exactly.
So don't miss out.
But Farhad is actually doing pretty well. Elden Ring level 1. I'm shocked. I'm shocked how well he's actually doing. But please go ahead and check us out. Daniel, he's playing Demon Souls for the very first time. He's never played the Soulsborne game ever in his life before. So, spoiler alert, it's going as well as you think it would. He dies a lot. It's hilarious. Come watch him suffer. Watch him.
It's not really restricted to just that game, but yeah.
Yes, he dies in Endwalker too. Check out that stream as well. But a few housekeeping items for you. Bleach Season 8 review will be up this Monday. Thor React is going to be up momentarily. And we have a few other streams that we just recently did. I believe it was Vespati Dungeon for Endwalker, where actually Daniel only died once, which was very exciting. And we are also going to be posting up Demon Souls tomorrow around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check us out. But otherwise, guys, I'm not even going to mention the Patreon yet. We'll do it at the very end. Let's dive in to the topic of this video, which is Moon Knight Episode 4. Let's start with Rohan. Walk me through your impressions of this episode, sir. How'd you feel?
Walk you through so the major point, the plot point of the twist of him winding up in the mental institution was the initial irk of it, you being so much right on it, was it dissipated after a while, after I started thinking about those lampshades that the show actually put forth in pretty much like the first
every episode,
the first, or pretty much every episode, but specifically the second one, where Steven encounters Marc for the first time in the mirror when the mummy dog was about to bust through the washroom door in the museum, and it looked, Steven saw Marc and it was the same, right? They had the same, it was the same face, right? And that was the indication right there that it's the same person. It could be very much the same person, right? Just having a tripped out freaking trip, right? The mushrooms, he ate too much mushrooms in the facilities, man. I don't know how he got his hands on it, but well, that was hell of a trip. But and a couple other things as well. Daniel pretty much is going to help me out in this one later on. But when the twist happened, and then another twist happened, right? Because I'm thinking that that the character at the very end, that came through the white doors, that's Ammit, right?
The hippo?
The hippo.
No, it's a different god.
Oh, it's a different god. No, Ammit is the crocodile. Right, I was thinking that, okay, wait, they switched up the actual thing just for the kids or something, so it wouldn't be so freaking terrifying. But no, that doesn't make sense either. But yeah, I was like, okay, whoa, there's something else.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. Your thought process is that this man smuggled psychedelics in a mental institution, but that is okay for kids to turn around and watch. But the hippo versus crocodile might be too scary.
No, man, there's got to be lines. Okay, we got to protect the children.
Okay, not the fact that they literally put his hand in an undead mummy to draw some stuff out, or the guy was getting butchered or getting his guts cut out. None of that.
Hey, what's considered like freaking PG-13 these days, yo? Like, the kids are crazy these days, man. They can watch anything.
I so want to put Maud in here. What about the children? But yes,
we need to split that clip in. But no, like I was like, okay, this is getting trippy. It's getting back to that very like strange freaking like more psychological actual parts of it, right? Especially in the first episode, right? I thought it was like getting more into that aspect of the show, like once again, right? And I was like, okay, please don't let it actually be just a straight up mental trip. That was my hope at the end of it, right?
The word you used to describe it is strange. Did you happen to know that there's a character called Doctor Strange and his movie's coming out on May 6th? Yeah. I don't have glasses. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the glasses reference is.
No, but you were calling it strange and trippy. What do you think, Doctor Strange, a multi-words and madness, right?
What? So it's like that's into this episode?
Somehow, I don't know. Marvel, come on, man, just sponsor us. Come on. Why not? Look at Daniel. Clearly, he loves you guys so much. He's not wearing his Marvel shirt hoodie today. You let me down, man. If this video fails, it's because of you. But yes, I do agree with you. I hope it's not just that he was just tripping the fuck out. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. Like, the problem I'm having... Oh, actually, before I jump in, Daniel, let's hear your thoughts.
I liked it. My initial thought when watching it was, Fayez is right. It's Loki episode 4. Nothing is happening. And I think I messaged you as well. I was like, I don't know, like nothing. Like I paused it too because I was like, how long is this? I was watching it because I was staying up for work, so I watched it. I started it just after 3 a.m. when it dropped online. So I was watching it and I was like looking at the time and I'm like, okay, how far am I into this episode? And I paused it and it was like 30 minutes in, or 38 minutes in, and another 20 to go. So I was like, all right, like, what can they squeeze in to make it better in 20 minutes? So I was like, I don't know. So I carried on thinking, oh, okay, please don't be like Loki episode 4. Just like, don't be all fluff. And then slowly it was like, I swear, it was like the TV heard me, and they were like, yeah, you know what? We're going to change everything. And it was cool. Like, I mean, looking back, the beginning wasn't too bad. We got some characters of Stevens and Laylas. We got to see her in action and all the cool stuff she can do. Found out more about her dad and how Marc is related to that and how he was there at her dad's death. So that was kind of cool to find out. But then we got to, and then the history part too. Alexander the Great. That's pretty cool.
That seemed a little like random to me. I don't know. Maybe like the history buffs would be like, oh no, yeah, that's a thing. Probably it is, but
So I ended up watching a reaction video from Screen Crush because I needed answers like immediately after watching it. So thanks to Screen Crush for explaining all the things. So a lot of this is pulled from the comics. Alexander the Great is not. It was a random Egyptian they had. I don't remember which one it was. But for the sake of the TV show, they decided to spin it to
everybody knows Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
So, okay.
The moment that he said, "Oh, this tomb is supposed to be Alexander the Great," and then you see that shot of like the sarcophagus all of a sudden turning straight, and it's like kind of zooming in. All I wanted to hear was dun 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 dun. Nathan Drake just falling down, and it's Tom Holland's Uncharted. Anyways, but like that's kept playing in my head. I'm just like, oh my god, really? Like it's Egyptian gods to Alexander the Great? Okay, let's do this.
But it's cool to see like it's 6 episodes, and each pair of episodes has been very different. Like the first 2 was all London and Stephen and everything else like that. The next 2 was very like Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones, Uncharted, Egyptian,
Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Sands of Time.
So it'll be interesting to see if these next 2 episodes, what direction they go. I'm assuming mental institution, psyche, and everything else like that. But the one thing I did notice, and with assistance from Screen Crush, because I was losing my mind, so I had to like find the details. The characters who were in the asylum, you've already seen throughout the show.
Yeah.
The guy with the bingo is the mime. The lady who got the wrong numbers is his boss from the museum. And then Layla's there, obviously. The doctor.
I wonder who was in the sarcophagus.
I've forgotten there was the 2 orderlies or the 2 police officers. Like you've already like as the whole panning shot and every scene in that psych institution portion of the episode, you've seen everybody already.
Such a great shot for a lot of like videos where they
dissect everything
exactly.
Yeah. Oh.
Just every single character. Oh, this character was here at this time and so forth.
Yeah.
Like it's brilliant. Here's the thing. I liked the episode. I kind of saw the twist coming. I don't know why. I just had the whole voicemails thing and the whole him talking, not knowing, like, I just kind of figured, I'm like, there's something more to this. Like, he's talking to mom all the time. Where are these voicemails going? And there's a lot of, as I said, Avenger level threat. Like, the guy fucking, like, went back and traveled the solar system back through time just to find the stars. Like, how is this not an Avenger level threat? So, like, there's a lot of things that they have to retcon, and there's no season 2. So they have announced there's no season 2 so this is standalone. So it has to be a tightly knit story. At the same time, the conversation between Layla and Arthur, that conversation, I really dug. Because A, her acting is phenomenal. B, it really kind of gave her purpose. Like, we knew that she was Mark's wife. We knew that her dad was a archaeologist, or it somehow involved her mom is making passports. So we knew that there were like some shady elements to her as well, right? So we're like, okay, we can figure out like how she got in touch with Mark, blah 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 blah. But to really like kind of tie it all together and say, no, well, Mark almost died. Khonshu came and kind of helped him out. This is probably the stuff that they were talking about, right? When I mentioned the whole God of War sequence that was playing in my head last time. So if this is it, and Layla is the one, this is how they met, fantastic. Love it. What is the point of that conversation now? Because this conversation that Steve was not there, Mark was not there, these two characters had this really real conversation. And the motive was Arthur telling her, hey, Steve is broken, Mark is broken. Like, he's not telling you things, blah, 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 blah. But there's no way Mark or Steve would know this conversation occurred. Obviously, right? Because he was where? He was at the tomb. So why would the showrunners show us the scene between two characters that shared screen time that is all of a sudden supposed to be part of his psyche? I don't buy that. So
you don't think it's psych related, and you think it's something else?
I hope it's not psych related, because even when you look at the Joker, like let's just use Joker as an example. Throughout the entire time, whenever he's talking to the girl, or when he's going and visit his mom and the girlfriend's there, all these elements were there. She did not share screen time with a third character where he wasn't part of it. So when at the end he
was in every scene.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was always him.
It was in his exactly. Right? He's envisioning his life. So you can kind of see that. Here, there's a lot of elements that are there that just don't make any sense. If in case turns out to be the case. Oh, like his date from the very beginning, the vegan element and so forth. What was the point of that?
But this is the other thing. Thank you, Screen Crush. The mystery potential third person. So we don't know anything about the comics. So, and I love Screen Crush for doing this. They were like, if you know the lore, and they had everything separated in the chapters. If you know the lore, keep on watching. If you don't know anything and you just want to enjoy the show, skip this part now. So I skipped it, and then they touched on it a little bit. But basically, there is, in the comics, there isn't two personalities, there's three personalities. And the third person is the badass one that can take control of the body anytime he wants. It's not like with Steven and Mark where they have to like let each other. This guy can just jump in and go boom. And his name is
Conchu. I thought it was Conchu. Like
Jade Lockley.
Jade Lockley, okay.
Jade Lockley.
And I think this is hinted on, especially in the show. Now you think about it. The whole restaurant vegan thing. Why would Mark ask someone out on a date when he's married? Steven obviously isn't going to ask you out on a date. Potentially Jake, the badass one.
So, but that proves my point, though.
What was the other one? The tomb at the very end. He finds the sarcophagus with
somebody
Steven
trying to come
inside.
out. Yeah, somebody trying to come out.
Then they find a third room, and they're both like, oh, I don't know. I think that's the third personality.
That's the one that Rohan was talking about, right? I wonder who's in the sarcophagus. Yeah. Here's the thing, though, that proves that even solidifies my point even more, is that if there's a third personality, this whole asylum thing is not making any sense. So my take is that everything that is happening after he got shot and he got thrown into the water, that he ended up going into his psyche. Because now when he's going further down, there's a little ray of light, right? And he's being pulled into the light, and the light turns into a light bulb, and the light bulb then shows us that he is in a mental asylum. What if that light is his psyche and he's going back and trying to figure out what the hell's happening? And this is Jade Lockley trying to say, let me out. Let me help you guys, because without me, you guys are all going to die. So, I don't know.
We also don't know what Harold's powers are, too. He could be controlling all this. It seems like he's in charge of this place as the main doctor. And his magical cane and the god powers that he has. Who knows?
Have you guys ever seen American Horror Story Season 2 Asylum? So, if it's obviously American Horror Story, it's very, what's the easiest, the creepy stories that they talk about in a old school mental asylum. It's this girl that comes in that is a reporter, and they just say that because she's a lesbian, she has a mental health she has obviously a mental health diagnosis, because this is, I think, in the 650s or 60s, and they just keep her. And then it's just her journey about what is going on in this fucked up asylum. And if it turns back to that, where it's horror story elements now in there too, I am all in. But as of now, I don't know if I'm enjoying the show as much as I did the first two episodes. I think the hype kind of died down for me. It really did.
For me, the hype went up.
Ooh.
Everything got vastly more complicated, but entertaining, and I want answers.
Fair enough. What about you, Rohan?
Man, the twist with the mental asylum is like might be a bit annoying, but like you said, Fayez, I think there is a way out where it's just him like hallucinating him being in there, right? But at the same time, like Harold is still so involved in everything that's happening, right? It seems like he's manipulating the actual environment and stuff like that, man. So like God, I think it could go anywhere at this point, man. Like
For sure. Especially the water that he fell into, right? Like, yeah, he got shot twice. The water he fell into, like a lot of this. Was it spices that they used to use, or they're to mummify people? What was it they used to use? The paste.
Oh,
whatever the procedure was, the procedure was to mummify. For mummification
fluid and whatnot. Yeah.
So that can also, I'm sure, it can cause hallucinations, right? Like this guy fell into the guy like what, ages old water with 2 gunshots. So like there's definitely some sort of infection going on, and maybe Rohan's right? Now he's figuring out how to take mushrooms into this asylum.
Mushrooms are growing underneath the water.
There you go, right?
The one thing that sold it to me though was like I know he's in an asylum like in the show, but like you were like, oh, that's my theory come true. Like, yeah, I don't think it's fully true. That there's definitely more complications. But the one thing that definitely made it for me was when he's going down the hallway and the hallway moves, and it was like Inception. You know, it's a dream when reality is moving.
Exactly, because the way they framed it is the fact that the drugs are wearing off, but no, that's not how it's shot. Because when he's running and he's like really trying to get his mind straight out, it's just these subliminal little messages saying, hey, something's going off with his head, something's going on, maybe this is all in his head. So I don't know. Let's see. I'm excited. I can say this though. I am very excited to see episode 5, the penultimate episode, just to see like how they're gonna wrap this up, like what is going on with the whole thing. Because by now, if they don't really resolve the whole Khonshu thing, because he's already trapped, so how are they gonna save him? The whole the other elder gods elements and stuff, like there's so much that they built on in the last 3 episodes where I don't think it would go into the route of this is just all in his head. I think this is a good twist to throw you off.
Yeah
But then it's like, okay, well, if this is not all in his head and all these events did actually occur and the end of the episode is all in his head, then how are you going to explain all the shit that Khonshu just fucking pulled?
Yeah.
And what are the ramifications on the
Layla
world?
saw it too.
Right?
Well, I really like her character. They had the shot of everyone like seeing in like the rest in Egypt. They're like looking up. So not just in his head. Something's going on.
I really like her.
I definitely have. Oh yeah, such a great character.
Yeah,
so well written. But some questions I have for this episode is: Layla's still in that tomb area, hiding. Also with Layla, she kissed Steven. So what's gonna go on with that?
I love the punch in the face.
The punch was hilarious.
It was so good.
It's so funny. But then Steven / Marc, they grabbed the figurine, the statue that's holding Ammit. But what happened after that? He decided to go suicide mission, stabby, punch, slice, and then got shot. But what did he do with the statue? We never saw it. Did he give it to Layla? Does he still have it? And when he fell in the water? Who knows?
Well, Daniel asking the real questions here.
This is the one bit that's gonna end the story is when Harold gets access to Ammit. So like,
do you think we'll see Ammit? We would, right? By
probably.
now we should.
There'll be like a showdown. They haven't talked about Ammit for 4 episodes, not to show Ammit.
But the other actually Egyptian god that does wind up showing up, that hippo at the end there, it's called I'm gonna butcher this. I am sorry. Taret. Taweret. It's a Egyptian god of rejuvenation, fertility, and rejuvenation. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's it. Like it's all in his head.
He will be healed.
Yeah,
Right?
it's all in his
There's got to be
head.
a reason why she shows up. All the potential gods and the potential show ups. Like she's the one.
Maybe one of the gods, like that god, the goddess, I guess, the one that he was talking to about in the trial. Maybe she did something to like kind of pull him away, his psyche away, and kind of help him out and help rejuvenate.
What was she the god of? It's not the same one, is it?
No,
or is it a different one?
It's different. It was a different god.
But it'd be interesting to see where they go from here, and especially how Khonshu isn't the only god that's hidden away. There's like 9 of them on that shelf there. So
that tripped me out too.
It'd be interesting to see how happens with that. And well, it was the process of releasing a god. Break the statue, do some ceremony. What happens if you try and break the statue and you break all of them? But then again, it's only 1 season, so that's a little disappointing. And was it only 1 season because they wasn't sure it was going to be good or not? Or 1 season because they deliberately wanted to make a 1 standalone show and leave it? Like, I really like Moon Knight, and I like the character. Like, I want him to come back in some capacity.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It doesn't really seem like they're really like the whole Moon Knight thing. Like, they're not really using like the costume and stuff as much as I thought they would. It's that part.
But he needs to get his powers back to use the costume, which means he needs to free Khonshu. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens in episode 5 and 6.
The god, by the way, that he was talking to is called Yatsil.
Different god.
Different god. But final question to you guys. Seeing 4 episodes in, is it on the same hype level as Loki?
No. I don't think quite so much.
It's a different kind of hype. I'm hyped around the same level, I think, because of just how entertaining the show is, and I'm actively excited for the next episode. But with Loki, you knew from the beginning that there were implications. Like from episode 1 and you find out that the time stone, the Infinity Stones don't matter.
Yeah,
and it's like, trinkets. Oh, okay, like it's changing the entire MCU. With this, it's just an entertaining show that we just don't know how it's going to end. But I'm still hyped for it. But with Loki, it was hype because it was going to take the MCU in a whole different direction. And we knew that right from the beginning when they had the Infinity Stone scenes. It's like, okay, you're taking what we know and you're throwing it into the dumpster. Okay.
So you're saying the scope itself, they shouldn't be compared because the scope is completely different. This is like Hawkeye versus Moon Knight. Okay, so
Hawkeye was just bad to begin with, but like...
I enjoyed the...
I mean, it was entertaining, but...
What was her name? Oof.
It's been so long.
Hawkeye? No.
I still regret not watching that.
Haley Steinfeld.
That was definitely a Christmas, yeah. Her character was great, and apparently she's coming back in different things, but
yeah,
when I was reading, like, they're not coming back in, like, their own kind of shows. They're kind of, like, being spin-off characters in different shows and movies. There was only, like, 1 or 2 that are actually getting a standalone show, or their standalone movie. But the majority of all the characters we've seen in the latest TV shows, they're just going to be, like, side characters of other projects.
Fair enough.
What about you, Rohan?
Do you, like, for me, I'm wondering if, like, it being just a single season, it's gonna like limit Moon Knight potentially showing up in other Marvel properties. You know what I mean? Because I think like what they I keep on thinking about the fact that they got Oscar Isaac. Yo. That guy's Oscar freaking Isaac, right? And I was wondering if they just decided to, you know what, it's going to be big enough because it's Oscar Isaac, and they just decided like, you know what, we don't really need to like push it much beyond that, and like he was going to be a big enough draw, and like in some ways he definitely is, right? The acting by this guy is freaking phenomenal, right?
Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
So, especially when like the times where like you just see in his face and his eyes when it's Steve and he doesn't even say anything versus when it's Mark, man. Like, dude, the guy's
mannerisms down. Like this is as good as Split.
Right.
That's why I'm really excited
James
to see
McAvoy,
if they do release, like if they do unveil the third personality, like it's taking his acting to a whole new level. Like you have to have an entirely different personality to act in.
He could do it. He could pull it off.
Oh, he could absolutely do it, but it'll be so good.
But I would kind of hope it would kind of break the through line that they have going on with the character, right? With the Moon Knight character. But if it was a different person, like it's not Oscar Isaac, it was actually someone different, I think that allows them a way to like transfer Moon Knight now into other properties, right? Because you don't have to rely like, or probably not count on the fact that Oscar Isaac was just gonna like do this one show.
No, I think it's going to be Oscar Isaac because like for the passports, all that stuff, passport pictures, all that stuff, that's him, that's his body. I get your point, Rohan, but I don't think it's going to be like he sees himself as Oscar Isaac, but it's actually a different person, and that is the third personality, and it's like completely like, oh no, it's Mahershala Ali, right? I don't think it's going to be like that because I really think like even with the passports and everything, like the way Lila is and everything, right? So like I think it is Oscar Isaac, like the body, just the psyche itself, like how many personalities he has is going to be a question. 3, clearly, based on the comics, so very interested to see when that manifests. Episode 5 is definitely going to be right. It's an Arab accent. Oh my god! Please make it Middle Eastern. Done. Make it Middle Eastern. But I am.
Yeah, I'm not as high. That's a trouble take. Fuck. Yeah, I'm not. Be so different. That's so bad.
Right. I don't think I'm as hyped as I was in the first 2 episodes. I think the hype definitely come down. Like if I were to turn around and rate this like so far the season, and we're like, oh yeah, midway, like give it a rating and stuff, it would be a solid 7.5 right now. Like it's not even crossing the 8 level, and it sucks because like acting's great. Like Ethan Hawke, I'm loving it. I'm loving the obviously Egyptian vibes. Like I joke around all the time and say, yo, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh meets God of War meets fucking Prince of Persia, right? So in a Marvel universe. So like I am digging all of that. Oscar Isaac's acting is amazing. Like a lot of like fun elements that I was really liking in the first 2 episodes are sorely missing in the second 2 episodes. And I think it's the whole chase into the tomb and the rush to get to Ammit first. I don't like it. It gives me the same vibe as The Last Jedi. It's a very slow chase that's occurring. Meanwhile, other things are happening.
A lot of motivation.
Yeah. So like the motivation is we gotta find Ammit first. Great, you did. You got shot. You're in the mental asylum. All right. So last 2 episodes, what have we learned? That's my point, right? The first 2 episodes were like, this guy has mental health problems. Clearly, he has sleeping disorder. Like there's something messy going on. There's 2 different personalities.
We learned more about Mark's history and
Mark's history was episode 3 or episode 2?
Episode 3 and 4.
Because we did 2 and 3 together. Remember? So it's episode 3, episode 2. He goes to the bunker. Episode 3 is when they go to Egypt. So Mark's history was episode 2. Lila, episode 2. Like there's a lot of stuff that was like kind of given to us that was great in the first 2 episodes. We
got more backstory in episode 4.
Backstory for like Mark, especially like like they didn't explicitly say how Mark died, right? But like I think there was very much implied. Like,
but we knew he was a mercenary, though. We knew he was a mercenary. Like that's what I'm saying. Like to me, it didn't feel like the story went forward until the very end. And that's exactly what you said too, right? Like you felt like it was very slow paced.
It was slow
and then they threw that. But that's what I mean. Like it really. Last episode, I was like, okay, what are the implications of this guy just turning around the solar system? What are the implications? Like, what is going on? How are you going to retcon this? How are you going to explain this? Because everything is connected. And my fear was It's all in his head.
All in his head. Yeah.
And it turned out to be all in his head. So you see how like the hype level is kind of going down for me. But let's see. Like I do have faith because I am enjoying it. Not as much as episode 1. Episode 1, I loved it. I really hope the costume makes a return, man, because that's such a wasted potential. Especially the white suit. Like we all talked about how crazy that was.
The Michael Jackson vibe.
Exactly.
2 episodes, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm sure something big is gonna occur. I'm just like, it's just this episode didn't live up to the hype.
Fair enough.
So
I wonder if the hype could have been rekindled or captured even more if they actually just released that third person that was in the sarcophagus, and it turned out it was like the third personality, right? And then we just get vaulted even that much more closer to probably even releasing Conjuring.
I think in terms of pacing, that would be a little too much because you're throwing a lot at the same time. So that might like kind of confuse things a bit, because all of a sudden now we're not just talking about the fact that it's all in his head. We're also talking about there's a third personality. So
well, but that keeps in theme though. Like a third person, it's all trapped in this guy's freaking head going.
But what have they done? Every single episode. The first episode, Steve. Second episode is Mark. Third episode is Lila. A fourth episode right now is like everyone, right? So fifth episode, if you're going based on that theme, is probably going to be the third personality, more dedicated towards that. So that's why I'm a little hyped. Based on what Daniel was saying, like the third personality, I want to know more. Is that the real Moon Knight? Like that's
if
the
he's
real
there
person?
to explore his psyche now inside the institution, we get to,
So let's see.
Okay, like I was gonna actually ask, was like, okay, how crazy, like on a scale, let's say like 1 to 5, right? In terms of like personality, like how crazy you think the third personality is, right? In terms of like 5, just like absolutely bloodthirsty, doesn't give a shit about anything, to like a 1 that's like, more closer to Mark, right? Just more capable. You know what I mean? Like, where do you think this third personality is gonna land? I think he's gonna be.
He's gonna be more powerful than Mark, because even Mark was surprised when he was like, "Steven, what the hell did you do?" He was like, "That wasn't me."
Yeah, I think Mark, where Steven is like the passive one, Mark is the capable one. I think the third person is probably the most dominant, which is why he just takes over whenever he wants to. When he's like, okay, we're in trouble. Which brings me to a really fun point. We are reviewing a series called Bleach. And in that series, Ichigo, what happens to him, Rohan?
Oh, yeah.
Every time he loses consciousness,
his
bastard lord, his hollow kicks in.
Takes over, right?
And he's bloodthirsty,
figure out a way
right?
to integrate it, but like for a time when like he was in real danger and shit,
he came out. You see my point? Yeah, you see why I made that point? I think he's on that level.
Ooh.
To Daniel, since you don't watch anime, this guy. I'll give you a premise. There's this guy that is super strong for the protagonist, and then he goes a stage above just to show to the character, like, yo, release all your power, do whatever you need to do. I'm still gonna beat your ass. And he beats his ass. But the main character doesn't give up. He's like, no, I have to figure out a way to beat you. He's like, let me show you true despair. So then he goes one step above. He goes a second form that it doesn't even exist. No one knows. It's a legend. He does it.
Ukiura.
Ukiura, yeah.
Ukiura,
and he doesn't just fuck up the protagonist. He kills the protagonist. Outright.
Yeah, that's what he knew he fucked up.
Fucks him up. Fucks him up to a point, and he blows a gigantic hole in his thing. He died. The hero dies. Tosses him down. Done. Whatever. And then the thing is, the protagonist has this hidden hollow inside him. Hollows are what they're fighting. The evil guys, right? And he has this power inside him. And it's just raw instinct. Raw instinct. He has one goal. And that goal is, I am going to protect you. That's it. Because if you die, I die. And you see him take over for the very first time in his full glory.
Yeah, that's his first
And
time. Always
he destroys this man. Absolutely butchers him. So that is what I'm thinking the third version is. So let's see.
One thing I thought of was the opening episode where in the chase and he's in Belgium or whatever.
Yeah. Eastern European country. Yeah.
Eastern European country he's in. You have the ongoing commentary from Khonshu.
The idiot's back again, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that was Marc or not.
You never really hear him talk.
You never hear
really
Marc. I don't think it was Marc's voice. And you only see Marc in the reflections where he's like, Steven, you're gonna get yourself killed, blah, blah, blah. But it's Khonshu telling him, like, don't give up the scarab, don't do this, don't do that. Did you just fold the gun and everything else? So it'd be interesting to know if it was Marc and the actual, like, in the Moon Knight costume doing all the fighting every time it's not Steven, or like the blackout bits, or if it was the third person, and if we get to see if they do unveil the third personality, they do a little kind of like summary of what he was doing this whole time, and it was him getting the scarab, it was him in the cupcake chase, everything like that. Interesting to see. They show things from his perspective for one of the episodes.
So you're telling me that Steven
and Marc are just blundering around doing stuff and
Steve wanted to be this new guy's personality so badly. He wanted to be as cool, so he invented Marc. Just to be as cool as his third guy. Great. That sounds like something Steve would do.
It was just like the voices and the commentary where like it's Khonshu and maybe a third person talking. Where you're like, what the hell is this guy doing?
That is true. All right. Any final thoughts, guys, before we end it?
Just excited.
Excited for episode 5. What about you, Rohan? Where you stand?
Yeah, man. That third personality has to be off the freaking chain, man. He has to be like completely freaking bonkers.
So if he disappoints, do you think the shows will be disappointing for you?
I think it will be. Overall, like I still think it's decent, but for what it could be and the levels of what Marvel shows could be, it's missing it, right?
Yeah.
But I think it could, like, there's still some time. There's 2 more episodes. I still think there's time to make it like one of the better Marvel shows that came out.
True. Yeah, the third personality, I'm a little hyped to see what that is, but I just want to know, is this the asylum or not? Like, which part is? That's all I want to know about it right now. And let's see if they stick the landing. Fantastic. I really hope it's not a Game of Thrones situation, but I really hope that they stick the landing.
That scarred you for life, hasn't it?
Has scarred me for. I love this show, man, and it's like scarred me for life. Anyways. But yes, comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts. Are you excited about Moon Knight episode 5? What are your thoughts so far? Who do you think, if you read them comics and stuff, who do you think is more in line with in terms of what the third personality is? Is it me and Rohan saying like it's going to be batshit crazy, or is it going to be more in line with what Daniel's saying? It's just he's calm, collected, it's just super dominant, or is he batshit crazy? It's batshit crazy, right? Let us know.
It has
to be called batshit crazy. But on that note, we also have a Patreon. Please, if you'd like to support our channel more, go ahead and join. Members get exclusive content. We have tons of podcasts that are available all throughout the services throughout the globe. I'm talking about Apple, I'm talking Google, I'm talking Anchor, and something else that I'm forgetting at the moment. Spotify. There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Doesn't matter.
But yes. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Thank you so much, both of you guys, for joining me today to discuss episode 4. We'll be back once again next week with episode 5 review. Until then, sending you all nothing but good vibes from your friends at Cast 5. Ciao.